J-Dab. Let's rap about it, not talking bars, but conversation that break bars that left you mentally scarred. Conversations, relations, don't forget observations, points of view with clarification brought through revelation. Lock into the station, the Rapology show, where wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will grow. Hey, this is your man J-Dab, invite you to tune in to the Rapology show with my brother, I swear Muhammad, Saturdays 1 through 3 p.m. live on CL Radio. Hey.
It was all good. It should be a learning ground for the son, for the child, right? You get to middle school, there's all kind of temptations, going through puberty, and so the temptation is you're going to hear a lot more things from other of your peers who may be bolder, right? So now, this is what I know. The son, the child, is always buffering the relationship they had with the parents those first 10, 11 years versus what these new Johnny-come-latelys in the 7th grade or the 8th grade are telling them. Yeah. They're measuring that against all the relationship things that should be in place up until that point. So the challenge for the young kid is they will always stay the course and never cross that line if the relationship is there. That's been my experience, right? So again, I'm pro-parenthood. This is no indictment on anyone. We're just speaking theory, and some of my experiences is you train the child up in the path they shall go, so they shall never depart from that. It doesn't mean the temptation ain't gonna be there to skip school in middle school, let alone high school. It just means that whatever relationship you built with that child before they hit puberty, because they gonna go up a level of testosterone. Mm-hmm. They gonna go up a level of estrogen. Yeah. All that means is, I'll say this also, one last thing. The opposite is true for the little girl. Yeah. They don't have the same behavioral challenges that the little boy, myself included, that we experience. So what I had to do as a parent is try to get the little girl to slow down. Don't think you know everything. Yeah. Even though you're smart and academic, there's this thing called life. Whereas the little boy might seem a little bit more knuckleheadish in behavior, smart kids, so they tend to be a little bit more mischievous in behavior, but we all have an opportunity as parents. What is the relationship top down? How are we speaking, nurturing, disciplining, teaching, laughing with our children before they hit that pubescent stage? Because we all know in middle school, it goes up a level. Yeah, right. They think they know, you don't know what you're talking about. Hey, that ain't right. Hey, you did that, but you said I couldn't do it. Yeah. Hold on. That's out of order, son. Yeah. So by the time you get to high school, they should just be on cruise control in young adulthood where we're just steering and providing advice. And one last thing I'll say. The one approach that I know works is start working with your kids in elementary on decision making. The instinct is to always tell them what to do when they're 5 or 6. Or 7. Hey, should I eat the turkey sandwich or the ham sandwich? Well, son, you make the decision. That way, when you get the ham sandwich and you may not like it, there's wisdom there. You learn from that versus me always telling you, right? So the decision-making part on some of those things, obviously we're going to rear them and tell them the right way, but start getting the children in the habit of trying to think independently. So that now when they get to the middle school and they ramp up a little bit, and again, I ramped up and I grew up in a large city like Houston, and we saw a lot of things inside the loop, inside of 16 loop. There was no beltway. Posse style. There was no beltway. Yeah. There was no suburbia out at 99. Right. So, man, you had all the kids at school, and you got 1,000 kids in the school. There's gonna be 10 of them that are brazen. Yeah. There's gonna be 10 of them like, whoa, man. So at the end of the day, I just encourage parents, you have a real tremendous opportunity to fortify the relationships with your kids, the sons, the daughters, by the time they get elementary, so that they're hinging on your word, so that they will think 3 times before they go against you because of the relationship you have with them, versus, again, the friends that come and go per semester.
Right, so I got a question to that. So what would you say, and this is open to all of us here, what would you say to that parent out there, the father out there who's struggling, who says, hey, they may have been, may not have worked out with the mom, may have been, and so now the kid is past elementary stage. They're in middle school and high school even, some even out of high school, and they've already they're not set in their ways. I mean, but they're at an age where
they're bucking the system.
Yeah, they're bucking the system. So
Strong headed.
what words would y'all give to fathers out there to you know, help them reach a kid that's no longer in elementary, a kid that's bucking the system, a kid that, and they may have been fed lies from the mom, who knows? But they listen to what Brother Osiris says. The kid is already bought into the noise.
Right.
How does a parent filter out all that to still reach that kid who maybe think they know it all and they don't? How would you reach? What would you say to that father to encourage them to, you know, that there is, you know, hope there? Yeah.
Even just talking about that topic give me chills.
Yeah.
Because there is no quick answer.
Yeah.
There's no quick solution.
Yeah.
Because as I, in my day-to-day journey, I see young men that's homeless.
Yeah.
Despair and poverty. And you looking at these young men and you're saying, you know, where are their family at? Something happened. They're on drugs, they're on poverty, they have mental disorders. And I always think in my mind, in a quiet space, that is somebody's son. You know, and you look at it and you try to help much as possible, or, you know, give them food or give them money. But the thing about it is priceless, saying that's somebody's son. So I'll agree with Brother Osiris saying earlier about the mentorship. As we come across, I come across, because I'm close to staying downtown, I come across a lot of homeless men.
Yeah.
That's minorities that I deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And you have to be sensitive to your children, sensitive to their needs and wants, and able to listen and discern what they're saying from the heart, because the mouth will say anything. And you have to be a sensitive parent, listen to your children on what they're saying to you about their hurts and their wants and things, their fears, because these are immature young boys, as Brother Osiris was saying, is that full of testosterone, they're full of energy, they're full of vigor. You have to be able to listen closely and discern what they're telling you, so that you can give them a quality decision, as they can make quality decisions for themselves. But also, I believe you have to give them quality time as a father.
Yeah.
This is a key element, is that no one's want to spend time with kids.
Yeah.
Especially not my kid.
Right.
So I believe that as we go out on our everyday, we have assignments that God gives us. And not only our child, just to sow a seed in a young man's life and say, hey man, you know, you can better yourself off the streets. You can better yourself from being in a point of despair. And it goes back to what he was saying, Brother Cyrus was saying about the children. You're able to have something at home to give them a measuring stick when they go outside the home. My mother always said, son, when you leave home, you're gonna see the world is about. Boy, she wasn't lying, because I miss her cooking right now. So the thing about it is, you have to build in silence with your children, showing them character, integrity, and having strong willpower to say no, because there are so much peer influence. There is so much not peer influence and peer pressure to do the wrong thing. So I would just admonish and uplift women and men that if they're going through with their children, keep putting your best foot forward. Keep praying. Keep believing that the tide is going to turn for your good.
Yeah, and I wanted to expound upon that as well, what I was mentioning earlier, where I kind of focused on the elementary relationship, right?
Yeah.
But let's just say you're parenting an older student or an older adult. The presumption is we've already passed the stages of life that the child has passed. So I've been 5 years old, I've been 10, I've been 15, I've been 20. I don't look a day over 25, but I've been 25.
Yeah.
So we have to appeal to anyone, let alone our kids, on the level they're on.
Yeah.
You can't speak calculus to a kid that hasn't taken algebra.
Yeah.
So if you're 15, if you're 25, again, this goes back to the dominion, the order, and the wisdom. Hey, son, I see the situations you're going through. We're talking about this. Again, what kind of guidance can we provide? But you got to be real with them and appeal to them on their level. So if you're a young adult, you're a parent of a young adult son, well, there's some realness you can talk to a young adult son about based on his young, youthful years as an adult, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a high school student, you're still building, right? You have a kid, you can be, hey, I know this without a doubt. You're doing this well, or you're doing this in high school. Here are your options as you get older. This is how it works. I'm appealing to you. So you just appeal to, because remember, that kid is part of you.
Yeah.
So how would you talk to yourself at 15
Right.
versus thinking, oh, these generations,
Right.
right? It's like, no, we don't throw our hands up, because guess what the elders were saying when I was 15?
Yeah.
These generations. What is this hippity hopping rap about?
Right.
Let's go back to Motown. Right? So, again, life is cyclical. The question is, in parenting a son, and I'm speaking from being a son, being a brother, being a young man in this society. I was born here in the US of A. We gotta meet our kids on the level they're on, but exude the leadership by walking the walk.
Gotcha.
And exuding that and just talking. And then they're gonna go through their own experiences where they're measuring what you say versus their experiences. And that's where the you come up in that relationship.
Gotcha. So what would you say? Because those are great advice to parents and fathers who are raising sons. But what would you say to the son who's hurt already? So, due to whatever reason, due to pollution from the noise, due to lack of because kids they perceive things, and sometimes they don't know what happened to cause that.
Right.
Whether they were protected or whether they're being fed lies or lack of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And so now the father is trying to rekindle the relationship with the son, like to bring, rekindle missing time, make up for missing time. But the kid is already jaded. The kid is already, upset. They're already mad, bitter, and they're just speaking. They're acting out of hurt, is what it really is. But that trying to rekindle that is hard, because I've seen a lot of fathers that say, "Hey, I'm trying to reach out to you," and they may give in a couple times. It's like, "Hey, I understand you're hurt," so they lashing out, blah blah blah. But eventually they be like, "Man, well, shoot, if you're not receiving it, I'm out. I ain't gonna, What would you say to that father who's on the verge of that? Like, man, I keep trying, but he's not receiving me. Keep trying. Now, what I would say to that father is, keep trying.
Keep trying.
Don't give up on your son. They're speaking out of hurt. And I know, like, I do this at home with my wife sometimes, and so I know she's listening. When she gets mad to where she just doesn't want anything to do with me, I hug her until she gets over it.
Yeah.
I hold on. Now she's mad, because again, love covers all.
Yeah.
Love overcomes.
Right.
And so to that dad out there who is speaking to a hurt son, to a son that's angry, that's hurt, that's bitter because of lost time, wrap your arms around that son. Tell them, hey, it's a lot of things that explain. Be truthful, be transparent as much as you possibly can while protecting yourself and protecting the mom. But let them know that no matter how much time has passed, that the love is not lost. You got to push through that to reach that son. Because there are a lot of sons out there that say, man, I don't need my dad. Even though, again, that's speaking out of lack of knowledge, obviously, wisdom. Because they do need their dad. But they're speaking out of a place of hurt. What would you say to encourage a child who's going through that right now? What would you say to a child that's, man, the time is lost? Man, I haven't seen my dad in, I don't know, 20 years. Let's just say 10 years, 15 years, due to whatever reason. All I hear is negativity about my dad from the mom, from the relatives. But all that we know is from an umbrella of noise. you know, whether it's true or not, and a lot of times it's not true because the people are usually speaking out of emotion.
Right.
Because just because the relationship didn't work doesn't mean that you're a bad person, bad dad, or whatever. What would you say to encourage that child that's going through that right now? Because, you know, deep down they really desire that relationship. They desire, you know, kids desire discipline. Yeah, it may hurt, it may, you know, they may cry, it may be painful, but they want that. And when they don't get it, think about it. They act out for attention. They act bad because they're saying, hey, I'm a kid, look at me. I'm gonna get in trouble in school because maybe they'll pay attention to me at that point.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No,
They'll rebel just to get that attention.
Yeah, it's the same.
Speak to that kid that's going through that right now.
I believe that that kid is seeking attention
Speak to him.
because they're hurt and they're wounded. And the only way we have to get through to that child is to keep loving, as Brother John said, you know, love covers a multitude of sin. We have to keep loving that child until they understand that one day you're gonna be a father and a parent. We want to keep loving that child, showing kindness, and spending quality time to understand that you might be hurt now, but you won't be hurt forever though. You know, time does heal wounds. I will speak to that child and that know that God, the Father, will send you mentors in your life to help you along your pathway, because His desire, as the Bible says in 1 John 3:2, beloved, above all things, I wish that you prosper your soul as your health. And if your soul is wounded, how can you move forward into the greatness of God that has you to be? And so I would say to that child, don't lose hope. Don't get into despair. Don't get in a place of oppression, depression, knowing that there's a bigger plan and purpose for your life. We know the story of Joseph. When he was rejected by his brothers, he was thrown in the pit. Even though he was thrown in the pit by his brothers of being rejected and sold, at the end of the story, his going through was able to open the eyes of a masses. So when a child is hurt, knowing they're going through, God may use that situation to use him, the abuse or molestation of not a father in life, to help others down the line. And so I would speak to that child and say, don't give up. Know that you're loved, you're wanted, you're somebody, you're a great person that you're growing into. And just don't give up hope. Don't get in despair, depression. Don't get suicidal. Understanding that you are somebody and that your story is gonna impact other people one day. So don't give up. Know that you're somebody, know that you're loved.
Yeah, and I would follow that up with prayer. Like, you know, again, not to legislate people's spiritual walk. And for those that say, man, I've never prayed before in my life, right? Versus those that may believe and have a fruitful prayer life, but a simple prayer that, Heavenly Father, give me the characteristics necessary to reach and bond with my son or my daughter better. And if you're on the son side, Heavenly Father, give me the characteristics to bond with my parents, who right now I'm feeling these kind of ways. You can open up one-on-one with God and just open up how you feel and watch what happens in your life.
Yeah.
God will bring around the circumstances, the people, the word that you need to hear, where you know without a doubt God is speaking to you.
Right.
And from my own experiences, but I would say, again, no one is immune to having feelings about a parent either way. Even if you have phenomenal parents, right?
Yeah.
So I remember just in my own walk seeing some things when I was growing up, and then when I became a man, I experienced some of those same things for different reasons, different circumstances, and I understood better.
Yeah.
So I never held my father figures and elders to a certain standard. It was almost like, hey, I'm going to be better, but then I found myself in those same circumstances. So here, remember, life is about relationships, and the ultimate relationships are those in the village: our parents, our caregivers, our sisters, our brothers, our sons, our daughters, our aunts, our uncles. And if you're feeling some kind of way in a parental relationship, son to father, son to mother, do the best you can to do your part to give to them. That's the best thing. It always starts with your ability to give, even in a relationship, a parent, daughter, parent, son, parent-child relationship. So hang in there.
Yeah.
Feelings are real. We all got feelings, but what we're talking about is presumably our parents can have the wisdom and knowledge, but you have to be open to receive that. And also it's a two-way street, obviously, as you become adults.
Yeah.
So hang in there, fight the good fight, but prayer changes things, and I'm a living witness to that.
Definitely. Yeah, so I'm going to speak to the fathers as well, just encouraging. Go back and get your son. Make that effort. Hold on to him. Because again, you're speaking to a younger version of yourself. No matter how much they kick against the bricks, remember you were that age once too. You rebelled. You didn't like some of the things that your parents may have told you. But now you're in the roles of reverse. Now you're the parent. So go back and get that child. Go back and save that son. The son's future is dependent on it. So I encourage you to go back and get your seat. To the son, parents aren't perfect. Fathers aren't perfect. Mothers aren't perfect. They've made tons of mistakes. They made mistakes that you know about and mistakes that you don't know about. But you're a preteen or a teenager now. You have to make the right decisions. And believe it or not, you don't know it all yet, because you haven't lived long enough to know it all.
On this earth.
Yes. Because you're going to be faced with many more challenges on the way. Yeah, you may be in high school right now, junior high school, and think, oh man, nobody has it as hard as me. Trust me, somebody does.
Right.
But open yourself up to receive. You may be hurt. You may have some bitterness in your heart towards father or mother or parents, but open yourself up, because what they're telling you, they've experienced before. It may not sound good. It may sound like they're just preaching to you and saying, do this, and we don't, you at a certain age, you at this age now, and they don't do it like that anymore. They may not wear the same type of clothes you wear because it's not cool or whatever. But the wisdom that they're telling you is right. They're telling you these things so to prevent you from going through unnecessary obstacles, unnecessary challenges, things like that. You got to open your heart to receive that. So what does opening your heart to receive mean? It means, A, listen and hear. Ask more questions if you don't understand, because they're trying to show you a way. They're trying to show you a path that will lead you more to life than the death of a thing or struggle or challenge. So open your heart to receive that. Some of the things that they're trying to encourage you not to do, because again, remember, temptation comes in all forms, comes in many shapes and sizes, some of the sizes and shapes you like too, but you gotta be careful on what path you choose. And I'm encouraging you, kid out there who's listening, listen to the path that your father is telling you about, or that your mother is telling you about. If you're into things right now that they're telling you not to be into, they're trying to warn you, because some of the things that they see, remember, they live longer, is leading you down a path that you haven't even seen yet. So just be careful, because parents know once you go past a certain point, and once you get ensnared in something, it's hard to get out. And so they can bail you out of a lot of things, but it's some things that once you go past the point of no return, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you. And they're telling you this to save your life, to make your life a little bit easier. So I encourage you guys out there, kids, you're not bad kids. No matter how much you've been fussed at or how many whoopings you've gotten or whatever, you're not a bad kid. You have purpose on the inside of you. God created you with purpose. You have greatness on the inside of you. listen to those who God places in your path to pull that greatness out of you. So God bless you, and I'm encouraging you kids to listen, because your future is brighter if you take the right path. Now the brightness is there, and you can get to it. Parents and mentors and and people along the way are trying to get you closer to the path of getting there easier, versus going through all the ups and downs and the hills and the struggles and the setback before you get there. Because again, God has a purpose for your life, and He wants to walk that thing out to you. Brother Osiris, what were you about to say?
Man, just a good word, man. And it was part of what you were saying too, just encouraging both sides, parenthood and on the child side, no matter how old you may be as a child. When I say that affectionately, it's a two-way relationship, and we all got to do our part, right? So some of the things that you may have heard today, it's all encouragement, it's all love. And when you think about that family unit that you have, regardless of the relationship that is in place today, I just encourage everybody to think on what you can do to build better relationships with those in your circle, your parents, your caregivers, your siblings, because that's all we can control. We can't control the response back. We can't control the parents, obviously. Dominion down, as much as we as parents want to control, really, once the kid, gets out of middle school, they're young adults in training.
Yeah.
So there is some latitude that I would encourage parents, as the kid earns it, then it's a discretionary thing to give latitude, because that's how they become more independent, even if they're semi-independent into their young 20s, right?
Yeah.
So what we're talking about here is empowering relationships. And as Father's Day is approaching, and I'm looking forward to kicking back and enjoying Father's Day, I just want to encourage every single parent, every single father, every single kid, all the joy and blessing you can hold. But it starts with us and our ability to give, and you cannot control the response you get back. And life is filled with decision points. So the reason that parents do impart the wisdom that they do have is so that you can make better decisions in the direction that you would like to go in life. And it's wide open. Stay in school. If you're in school, stay in school, right? And follow a path that says, hey, I'm good at something, or I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
And lift it up to God, and those are some formulas of success that can increase the likelihood of your success. So that's what I want to give as a parent to all the kids, the students, the young adults out there. It's wide open, regardless of the propaganda, the social media, and make a plan, put in some actions, learn from the experiences you have, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna leave it.
So as we move on, because it's already, we only got about 15, 20 minutes left. I got two more questions here. So what would you say is the best advice that your father or a mentor has given to you that you're passing on to your kids or to somebody you're mentoring?
I'm gonna say my father, he's 73. He tell me a few things. He always tells me, my father's 73, he'll tell me, son, stay on the wall. He's pretty much saying, stay on your assignment. He say, I'm not a quitter, I'm a go-getter.
Huh.
And these are two principles he tells me as his oldest son of 3, that don't be a quitter, be a go-getter.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Keep pursuing your passion. We all have a passion that burns inside of us, that's innate in us, that has to be fulfilled. And it could be following God's purpose or following His divine assignment on your life. And so he just tell me, stay on the wall when I'm doing for God, and don't be a quitter, be a go-getter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man, I was very blessed and fortunate to have two amazing father figures. So I got a couple of messages. My biological father told me something that might be a little controversial, but he said, no one takes care of a man when I was younger. And I always internalized that. Well, what does that mean? I'm not talking about, hey, Father's Day is coming up. I might get some gifts and some adoration and some cards, and I'm going to get my flowers. Or, hey, other celebratory events. That's not what he was talking about. What I learned as I got older. And regardless of the social media and the propaganda you'll get, hey, I take care of my man. What I learned from my biological father is I must work to take care of myself. And when I start a family, I must work to make sure the buck stops with me to take care of my responsibilities and my family. So that's what, that always resonated with me. Now, the good news is I had great examples. Hey, go to school, hard work. It almost seemed easy, which I know is a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But that always stuck with me. No one takes care of a man. The man takes care of the living. And then my stepfather, great. I mean, taught me a lot of things. Taught me how to tie a tie. Taught me how to talk to someone I was interested in dating. So he taught me how to be a man by example, because I lived the majority of my life growing up with my stepfather and my mom. So he taught me by example what it means to take care of your responsibilities as a man. He was a great example. So those are some of the lessons that I impart. If you're raising a son, and there are young males listening, do the best you can to develop a plan. Do your part to put in the work and take care of yourself, so it puts you in a better position to potentially take care of a family. Yeah. So that's what I would impart.
Awesome word.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah. So I would say if one of the things that was passed on to me was more of having that excellent mindset, like having a mindset of excellence. And what I mean by that is that all speaks to me personally, because that's saying, hey, no matter what happens, I'm in control of what I do. I'm not going to, even though I can't control any of the things around me, I can only control what I do. And so whether I try hard, get knocked down, the only way things will get better is if I choose to get up and keep fighting. If I choose to get up and keep putting my best foot forward. If I choose to, no matter what the crowd is saying, no matter what I'm daring to be different, but I'm being excellent in all of my ways. And it took a while to really understand what that meant. But as I kept living and as I kept growing, I came to realize, like, man, my dad was right when he said that. Because as a man, nothing is going to be given to you. You're going to have to work for everything that you want. Now you can be nice, you can be cool, you can be friendly and have favor with people and all that. But if what he was saying at that point in time, no matter what you want to get, you got to go out there and get it. And no matter what you do, no matter what you're a part of, affect that thing. You got to be excellent. You got to give that excellent effort, and no matter what you do. And so this leads me to my next point here, a question here. After it's all said and done, after you lived your life, like we're approaching that age where we're the OGs now, right? Right? How would you like to be remembered? What do you want to be remembered for? Now I know we still got life to live. I ain't not saying we about to go out tomorrow, but what do you want to be known for after it's all said and done? That's a good question.
Yeah,
I know it's something to think about. That's some people will call that deep or whatever, but how do you want to be remembered? Because how you're remembered, that means, man, when they say your name, this is what they think of.
Right.
That leads to that all speaks to how you lived your life.
Right.
What impact you had, what effect you had. So I pose that question. How would you like to be remembered?
Yeah, man, that's a very good question. Obviously, for me, honorable, wise, actionable, handled his responsibilities well, congenial, just man, fun-loving to be around, leader, great father, a great husband, all the above, right? And really, you hit on it as well. Was what impact and legacy did I leave, so that the next generation can springboard off of that, right? And that's one of the things we talk about stereotypes and some of the generational things we have had to overcome historically. How do we leave our families and then secondarily the world in a better place than we lived through it, right? So for me, those are some of the characteristics. Brother Osiris is all love and all giving, and at the end of the day, he always took the time out to make sure that I was okay or we were all right.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that come to mind, and I'm kind of getting a little emotional thinking about it because of my loved ones in general. So
yeah.
I want to just say that I want to leave a legacy of being a family man, a person that loved his mother and loved his aunts. I'm very close to my mother, close to my aunts, to my dad. I really believe in family.
Yeah.
To being the best I can be with the time I'm on earth, leaving a legacy of being the best father, the best husband, being the best leader, and most of all, I take pride in being a servant of the Most High.
Yeah.
Being a servant of God, to serve the people, to serve my community, to serve my family, anybody I can help impact their lives, to make their lives better. I'm gonna have all the money, but I'm able to impact them with a kind word, laughter, joy. I love cooking food, give them a high plate of food,
All right.
and so I want to leave a legacy of servanthood.
Yeah.
I want to leave a legacy of that, hey, OT loved his family.
Yeah.
He loved his wife, he loved his girlfriend, he loved his dad, he loved his brother, he loved the GP posse.
There you go.
And so I really believe that when I leave, that someone will grab the seeds of sacrifice and the seeds of tools and say, hey, he left something, I can run with it. And that's why I want to say I want to leave a legacy to the next generation, that they can see my light and my example.
That's good, man. That's real good. Definitely. Those are both definitely great words. I think for me, man, that's a layered question, because there's so much that we want to definitely be remembered by. But I definitely want to be remembered by the way I love God. The way that I serve God, then I try to serve others. Then I want to be remembered for how I love my wife and my family, and then that knowing that I was a loyal friend, knowing that I gave it my all, and no matter what I did, how I loved, how, like I said, was a friend, how I gave, how I poured out, how I tried to bring joy, how I tried to always give people hope. No matter how bad the situation was, I want to be remembered for, like, man, you know what? No matter what I was going through, he always gave hope. He always made me believe that there was a way to get out, or a way to that, like, there was a better way, and it is, and it's and I'm just passing the torch, if you will, because there were mentors that came along my path, and parents and things like that, and uncles and aunts and family that came along my path that gave me wisdom and knowledge. And not only am I trying to apply that to make my life better, I'm trying to pass that to make the next generation's life better, or make someone else's life better. And even with this show, and even with other podcasts that we're on and doing other things, is we're trying to impact this world one mic at a time,
Right.
One rapper was like, man, all I need is one mic, right?
One mic.
And so but it's impacting this world, and I would just, like I said, I asked that question because why impact plays a big role. I always say, like, man, if you walk into a room of people that look like you, maybe same height, you know, same size, whatever, same age, whatever, and you're in that room for an hour, right? All of y'all are in that room for an hour. When you leave, can you be remembered? Or would they say, hey, I think he was in there, and I think I rubbed shoulders or passed by him, or I think he spoke. That all speaks to impact. No matter what you're a part of, and I'll tell my listening audience here as we get ready to close, no matter what you're a part of, no matter whether it's a job, an event, a podcast, in a friendship, in a relationship, can you be remembered? Relationally, are you the best mate that person has ever had?
Right.
That all speaks to impact.
Right.
Or did you bring something different to the table than anybody else? That all speaks to impact. And when I say different, I mean different in a positive way.
Right.
Right? That all speaks to impact. The thing that comes along with impact is effort. What effort are you putting forth? And as I speak to these young teens and fathers as well, if you want to have an impact, you gotta put forth the effort. And it has to be a relentless effort, an effort that says, no matter what, I'm gonna reach you. From a kid point of view, no matter what, I'm gonna receive what you're giving. No matter, sometimes it may be hard, sometimes it may not be what I want to hear, but I want to receive that. Why? Because I want my life to be better.
Right.
I want to go down a path that obviously we want an easy life if we can, but with life as we know, without struggle, we won't progress. If we're not challenged, we won't change. That's just life itself. And so think about that. Whatever you're a part of, can you be remembered? Can you be remembered? So, man, hey, we're winding down now. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you guys, are you guys working on anything right now? Any projects, anything that you guys are doing or have want to share with our listening audience right now? I'll just tell you guys, for me, like I said, I'm working on another podcast, and we're doing some things here with the Rapology show with My Father's Business. We have some things in production that we're doing. We're doing great things. Again, the goal is to impact as many people as we can, one mic at a time. The goal is to lead this next generation into greatness. No matter what field of endeavor it is, we're leading the next generation into greatness, all while being great. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are you guys working on? Any projects right now?
I'm working on empowerment group home facility
Okay.
for veterans assisted, and also behind that project, I'm looking to do a full-fledged production company also
Okay.
down the line. So those two projects I'm working on, and just trying to be a better me,
Yeah.
a better leader, better servant to leave something. And I really want, once I get these projects going, I want to be a really good CEO of employing people, empowering people to
Okay.
pull the best out of them and the greatest in their life too also.
Yeah, so right now I'm working on trying to empower the next college-bound students. So
Yeah.
mathematics, SAT tutoring.
Okay.
So if you're interested, you're interested in going to college, standardized test, you're going to take on the SAT. Reach out to email at teamcyrus1999@gmail.com. Again, that's team CYRUS 1999 and we can get you set up. SAT math tutoring. Again, mathematics knows no color.
Yeah.
Okay. Mathematics is just about understanding, and a wise person told me a long time ago, mathematics is the universal language because it teaches logic.
Yeah.
It ain't about the numbers or the symbols or the variables. It's about what steps do you take to draw conclusions, to build things, or to solve a problem. Okay. So again, I know there's we discussed a lot of things today. I want to wish all the fathers a happy Father's Day as we wrap today. And again, reach out to teamcyrus1999@gmail.com and look for a podcast near you. We're working on some good things. And thank you, Brother John, for having me and us today.
Definitely. Again, that was teamcyrus1999@gmail.com. That's TEAMCYRUS1999@gmail.com. So again, I know a lot of kids are getting prepped to go to college. Hey, we got the answers right here from a mathematical standpoint. So keep in mind, again, the Rock the Mic for Christ event coming up on June 29th at 6 p.m. It's going to have spoken word. They got special guests. I'm So Real, Centel, Jenny Jackson, Camouflage, E-Ross, Chosen, what's this, SB9, I think, Lil Rascal. Hey, the list goes on. It's going to be some of these names, y'all. But it's gonna be a great event. Stay tuned to the Rapology Show and JDAB Ministries on Facebook and some other platforms out there for more information there. What I hear, 12 and under are free before 7. Everybody else, $20 pre-admission, $25 door admission. So this is an event that you do not want to miss. For the youth. Again, we're uplifting the youth. Hey, the youth of the future. So again, hey, it's been another great episode of the Rapology Show, where wisdom, knowledge, and understanding rules here on CLRadio.live. We're here every Saturday from 1 to 3. Remember to like, share, subscribe on YouTube and Facebook. You don't want to miss out on the fresh new content that we're bringing you. So yeah, hey, I enjoyed it. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, no matter what you're going through, ups and downs. Remember, nobody can stop you. You have greatness on the inside of you. The only way you will stop is if you